where they latch on to a teat and begin nursing milk from their mother. They actually have a locking mechanism in their jaws, and so when they're latched on, they stay continually latched on for a couple months. They're just drinking milk and they're continuing their development. So again, they're incredibly small. We do not generally have a birthday for any of our gliders because it is an event that usually goes unnoticed. That's how small they are. If you happen to see a glider mama licking and licking and licking and licking her belly, you can anticipate that she's about to give birth. She basically licks a path up her belly to kind of make a pathway for that little teeny grain of rice to know its way into the pouch. But we have a different date. It's called the OOP, Out of Pouch Day. And so when those little marsupials begin to stick their heads out of the pouch, that is their kind of alternative birthday. And so they'll start going in and out until they're big enough to live in the world outside of the pouch. It's very similar with kangaroos, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but right now we're going to let you guys have some fun with these guys. While you guys are looking at the sugar gliders, another interesting fact is they are called gliders, not flyers. They don't have the ability to gain altitude. However, from the appropriate height, they can glide about the length of a soccer field. So their gliding ability is very good. It reminds me of Buzz Lightyear where he says he's falling with style. And so they're excellent gliders and can glide quite large distances. Any questions about sugar gliders? Sugar gliders as pets will form very close bonds with their owners. A lot of people refer to them as one of the pocket pets. They do like to live in community with one another. They live in large groups called colonies. And you will discover, as we have, that no matter how many pouches we hang inside their enclosure, they're all going to crowd into one pouch. They very much like being together. Oh, okay.
So I'll bring her around. We're not going to pet her just so we don't stress her out. But you'll be able to see she doesn't look any different than the other ones, but she does have two babies.
Did you guys hear that? So Miss Fallon here has a mama with babies in the pouch. We're not going to hold her or pet her, but she is going to walk around so that you can see her. She might be hedgier. They like hoods. They like hoodies.
Like this is being outside.
They're finding different pouches. Now, if you hear that noise that they make, it can be kind of scary. It's called crabbing. These guys are nocturnal, so this is kind of like nighttime for them. And they will make a sound called crabbing. They have opposable thumbs. Yeah, it's kind of cool when they sit up on their haunches. They can like grab things, look like they're eating a little corn cob. They have a little
She does. I think she has two. Yeah.
She's not a baby.
No, she's mom. She's mom of 3 of the babies that are out here already.
Yeah, if you look at the sugar glider on Fallon, this is an low glider. Now, you will also notice, this is the one that got his tail.
Yeah.
Yes, so the sugar glider tails are quite long. They're usually as long as their body. However, I could hold this one up for a tail. Right? But these tails can cause some problems sometimes. They love to run in wheels. We have tail-safe wheels that don't have any bearings in the middle, which is super important. We're not sure what this little lady got her tail caught in, or if she got in a fight, but the length of her tail right here is not typical of a glider. Something has happened to her tail. If you look at all these other tails on all these other guys, you'll see that they're much, much longer. They're not prehensile tails like, say, a monkey. They don't really hang from their tails or hold on to anything with them. However, they can use them when they're gliding to give themselves some directional movement as they're going through the air. Did you hear it?
Hey guys, I'm going to talk to you some about kangaroos while they go and get some kangaroos out for us to see and play with. So kangaroos are pretty amazing animals. Kangaroos, I think you saw in the video, they call them pentapedal. That means that they are walking like they have 5 feet. So when they're walking, they go always front feet, tail, front, back, tail. And the tail is providing as much of the locomotive force as any of the 4 legs are. So the tail and the 2 back legs are mainly the moving, and the front legs are mainly balanced. When they're jumping, they jump only on their back feet. And kind of an amazing thing about kangaroos is they have a huge amount of stored energy in their legs that for us, you know, if we're walking, that takes very little effort. If we're running, that takes more effort. If we're sprinting, that takes a whole lot of effort. Kangaroos move at most speeds with about the same amount of effort. So when they're walking, it takes just as much effort as it does when they're hopping along at a casual pace. The casual pace for a kangaroo to hop along is about 12 to 15 miles an hour. Then their top speed, according to Wikipedia, is about 44 miles an hour. But according to YouTube, there are a lot of videos out there of kangaroos that are keeping up with cars that are doing 55. And there's one video that you can see a kangaroo chase down a guy on a KZ 400 dirt bike and jerk him off of it. So a kangaroo can really move out. And the reason that it doesn't take them a whole lot more effort to run than it does to walk is because their muscles are attached not directly to the bone by, you know, for us, there's a very short tendon that attaches most of our muscles to the bone. The kangaroos have really long tendons that attach the muscles to the bone. So there's a great amount of spring force there. So like, you know, when you stretch a spring, it wants to return to normal, right? So as they stretch their legs out, that's essentially stretching the spring. And then the poing to go forward, that's the spring returning to its relaxed state. So the muscle is drawing it up, but naturally it's, you know, returning to relaxation at the same time. So a kangaroo is not expending significantly more effort to run at top speed than it is at just its normal moving around speed. That's important for the kangaroos because they live in semi-arid climates, deserts and such. So they need to move around a whole lot in the day to get enough food to sustain themselves. Kangaroos normally move 2, 3, 4 miles every day. So the group, they travel in groups. The groups are called mobs or speed names, but the most common name is mob. And the kangaroos, the whole mob moves together. So when they're just cruising around, that's about 12 to 15 miles an hour. If a predator is chasing them, or if they're in a real rush or fleeing from a fire or something, 28 is about as fast as the group is going to move because that is the top speed of the female kangaroo. The male kangaroo, the boomer, is the one that can really move it out. So the male kangaroo can move as much as 44 miles an hour according to Wikipedia, a whole lot faster than that according to YouTube. So male kangaroos, it is true of many prey type animals that they can live a whole lot longer in captivity than they can in the wild. For instance, you're going to see an iguana later today that is years past what they say his lifespan could possibly be. Kangaroos are the same. In the wild, a male kangaroo is lucky to make 5 years. But kangaroos are like tortoises for a male. A male kangaroo, if it is alive, it is growing. They never stop growing. In captivity, a kangaroo. Yeah, we're touching. Oh, have we sanitized yet? No. Does anybody here have cats at home?
Yes.
If you have cats, do me a favor and run and hit the hand sanitizer before you touch a kangaroo. Just run over there and use the sanitizer real quick and come back. Cats can carry something called toxoplasmosis. Toxoplasmosis can be harmful to pregnant women at a really high level, fatal to kangaroos at a really, really low level. So you can literally pet a cat and pet a kangaroo and do significant harm to the kangaroo or kill it. We'll just take a quick minute for that. Thanks for looking out there, Fallon. Too bad I don't know how to dance.
This is Max. So how old is he? He is going on 8 months. He's still active. Yeah, they don't put him out more so for just carrying him around and socialization, but they don't.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah. They are really soft. This is Max. Max. Okay.
All right, guys, so let's get back to talking about the kangaroos. Oh, we got a new group here.
There's a little girl that's pretty high.
Mom says you keep them off. Dad says you can't. I'm like, no, keep us updated.
All right, guys, let's get back to talking about kangaroos. So the maximum speed for the group of kangaroos is about 28 miles an hour if they're fleeing a predator or something. And the male won't leave his female. But the max speed on the male is about somewhere between 45 and 55 miles an hour. And if there is a predator coming, the male will turn and face the predator, he'll chase it down, and he'll go at it. The normal family group for red kangaroos is like 1 male, 50 females. So if you want to be the 1 male, 49 have got to go. And that it significantly reduces the lifespan of wild kangaroos. So in the wild, a male kangaroo is lucky to make 5 years. But a male kangaroo grows forever. They're like a tortoise, that if they are alive, they are growing. So in captivity, male kangaroos can get very, very much bigger than they do in the wild. I am 5'8". The record for a male kangaroo is 6'7". There was a kangaroo named Roger who was well documented to have been 6'7", and that is 6'7" standing on the ground, not nose to tail. Nose to tail, he was more than 8.5 feet long, but standing on the ground, that kangaroo was he was 6'7". The father of these kangaroos in these bags right here just passed, not due to natural causes. He jumped into a fence, not here, and broke a leg. And at the point that he expired, he was 6'4" and 250 pounds. So kangaroos can get massive. The kangaroos, an adult male kangaroo can cover 20 feet from standing still in a single jump. This thing right here is 24 feet across, so a kangaroo can just about cover this whole thing in one jump from standing still. On subsequent jumps, a kangaroo can jump nearly twice that far. So on subsequent jumps, they can cover almost 40 feet. I think Wikipedia says 35. There's some argument on how far the absolute max is that a kangaroo can jump because, you know, they're not really called to do it all that often. When kangaroos are boxing like this, they're being playful and friendly like, but like teenage boys, they can go from playful and friendly like to a game on in the quickness. So when they go to really hurt each other, they grab on with the front legs like this, and they'll stand on their tail and use their back legs, just going at each other. You saw a little bit of that in that video. They weren't really amped up yet, but when they get going, they can really put a hurting on one another. The kangaroos are known for taking dingoes and dragging them into water to drown them. And when they say that the normal predator for a kangaroo is like dingoes and such as that, they don't mean dingoes are just out there getting kangaroos. They mean that, you know, and with most predators, they're not taking out the strong, healthy members of the community. They're taking out the weak, the young, the very old. So that also is part of why many prey-type animals can live a whole lot longer in captivity than they do in the wild. Because as they age, it's easier for predators to get them, and in captivity, you know, nothing is out to get them. For example, the sloths that are here. In the wild, they think that they probably live around 20 years. In captivity, they can live as 50 years. And they don't have to work so hard to get food, they don't have to hide from predators, and their life is not at risk from any outside source, except, you know, disease or improper care. But many prey animals live a whole lot longer. Kangaroos, the reproductive design cycle habits of a kangaroo are super unusual. So all marsupials, and some of the common ones would be, you know, the sugar gliders we just saw, which are related to opossums. The only marsupials in America, I'm pretty sure, are opossums, which are not native to America. They actually were brought